Hola, mi gente, and welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, queries, statements, or otherwise, we have multiple ways to be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those that need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at SKiMPod. That is SKiMPod. That's where I like to fight. For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. That's crunchy being spelled with a K. We're available via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and a partridge in a pear tree. And of course the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. And a band plays on here at Skim, and to that end we provide you a podcast, a musical discussion podcast built on a hip-hop foundation, and you know what? It's dope. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox 2099, your host, the Internet's Tayrell713, and me? Well, damn it, I'm the real ODP.
And it is going. This one I told you, I told Aiden I was going to put up. Well, this is what it looks like right before your fall. Stumbling around, you've been guessing your direction, next step, you can't see it all. And I don't have a name, I don't have no name, no. But who am I to blame? Who am I to blame? And I cannot change, I cannot be changed, no. Trust me, I tried. I just end up right at the start of the line. Drawing circles. Stay Crunchy and Milk, we back in this bitch again. It's been 2 weeks since we have recorded a podcast.
That's when we stock up episodes. That's behind this curtain, though.
But now we're at the end of our stock up, so had it not happened today, next week was going to be difficult, to say the least. We're joined by Lunchbox 2099.
In the building.
Yeah, the homeboy, the real ODP.
Everyone talks about how tough Chuck Norris is, but has he ever made his daily contacts last 2 weeks?
I'm so dangerous to your eyes. Oh my God.
I'm nothing if I'm not frugal.
Yeah, that literally can blind you. Be careful.
How you figure?
They're literally they're made for like single use, and they can fuck up your eyes. Or you just like treat them like extended wear contacts.
Well, I take them out at night.
All right, as long as you do that part, that literally is half the battle, because they can stick to your eye and tear your cornea.
I'm hoping the ones I'm wearing right now, I can get them in 3 weeks. Root for me.
You got it, champ. Our Mr. Man is Tatum216. Send him some love. I hope he'll be back here a couple weeks. But until then, we in the building, we talking some smack, talking shit. I'm going to tell you that last Friday, just happily go luckily, bob along, going to work. I get in the elevator. A nice construction worker guy gets in the elevator with me. A lovely lady gets in the elevator with me. We go up one floor. The construction worker tries to get off the elevator, and the door said open and then immediately closed, and that was it. I remained in that elevator for an hour, hanging out with these people, talking to security that's downstairs, saying, hey, we're stuck in this elevator. Oh, I got you, baby. Cool. Eventually, I'll call my boss, be like, hey, I'm in this elevator. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, we're just in I'm not, my life is not on the line here, people, and no one seemed to understand that. If you follow me on Twitter, forgive me, Instagram, you saw a couple of images in my IG story of my elevator situation.
My kids saw them, and at night they asked, like, is Uncle T still in the elevator? Like, no, that was hours ago.
Your oldest wrote me to double check, and I was like, and asked how long I was in there, and I was like, 1 whole hour, not too long, and I'm okay.
Oh, she's such a sweet.
Should have messaged her back and asked her if she fed her guinea pig or not.
Answer, likely to be no.
But that was very much amusing. And so I'm in the elevator. Of course, we live in the future, so it's not like I'm really having to worry about anything. I got my phone in my hand. I've talked to security. I've spoken to my boss, so they know what's up. The time clicks. You know what I'm saying? After a little bit, I call security back. Because the lady in the elevator is getting a little annoyed. And I'm like, I go, you want me to call security again? Yeah, call him again. I'm like, no worries, I'll call him again. Hey, bro, we still in this elevator. Y'all still in this elevator? Yeah. Bruh, I called maintenance, man. Here, if they don't, I'm going to call them again. Give me 3 minutes. If they don't let you out, man, I'm going to do it myself. All right. Waiting. That happens. Then all of a sudden we get a knock on the elevator. Boom, boom, y'all still in there? I'm like, yeah, we're here. Because nothing changed to change that situation. Wait a little more. Boom, boom, boom. T, you in there? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, it's me. I'm just making sure you're all right. I'm like, yeah, we good, baby. I can't really do nothing about it. My fellow trappies are like, man, your boss can't check on you? And I'm like, no, that's not my boss. That's my boss's boss's boss. It's a couple of layers up from there. And they're like, hey, nobody came to check on us.
Well, you're not as important as me, obviously.
It's kind of some levels to this shit when you say it like that. But the whole time, like I'm chatting with y'all, I'm chatting with Vanessa. I'm on my phone because I got a full charge and I'd eaten breakfast and I had a beverage in my bag in case I got thirsty. I could have did the long haul, bro. I'm glad I didn't have to, but I could have. Gabe's responses, of course. Do you need some advice on how to escape an elevator? Because I have some experience in that regard. And I was like, and I think back to that time. And so now you have to tell people how you escaped an elevator once.
All right. Well,
and the circumstances of it. And how long were you actually in the elevator before you was like, I got to get out of this bitch?
All right. So statute of limitations has run. So I can.
That shit is not a crime. You had to get out that motherfucker. They weren't doing anything about that.
All right. Well, confession time.
Ooh. Information I don't have.
It might have been my fault that the elevator stopped.
I mean, it might have been the whatchamacallit guy's fault that the elevator stopped on my end. The construction guy was trying to push his tool bag out.
Oh.
It closed on it, bounced back open, closed, and did not let us out again. So I mean, that's circumstance.
Okay, so even though I was in my mid-20s, I was prone to childlike behavior sometimes. So I would do this thing where I would bounce my legs in the elevator just to make it vibrate. And I've done it a bunch of times before, but this time it made the elevator stop. Allegedly. I don't know.
You don't know if that.
So you were just listening to House of Pain.
You don't know if one thing caused another.
I got the urge to jump around, and no one talks about like how House of Pain has influenced people to do some bad things. It's all about Marilyn Manson and gangster rap.
Me and my buddy got in the elevator one time with some random strangers, like older women, and he turns around, and for those of you who have met my friend, he's a giant troll, and he goes, "Hey ladies, what's your favorite House of Pain song?"
Oh.
You know what mine is. And thankfully he didn't really do it, but
Did it make the elevator jostle?
he definitely shook a little bit, yeah.
Was it scary for the ladies?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't care. Oh. I was worried about myself in that situation.
That's when you go like you stop your friend. It's kind of like you play off each other. You stop your friend.
Chivalry
Like,
is
hey,
one
hey,
thing.
hey, ladies, are you
But when
okay?
it's the Titanic, I'm going to pretend I have a kid too.
Give me this baby.
It's my baby.
I did. Oh, not to get sidetracked with
What did you do
another
with that baby
story.
afterward?
Probably just threw it in the ocean.
Oh, god damn.
I shouldn't have asked. I should have just let that shit go. 'Cause now that's what I'm thinking from here on out.
The baby was weighing down the door, I guess. All right, sorry. Not to get sidetracked with another story, but I did do some chivalry, quote unquote. You can't see the air quotes over the microphone. Once where like I don't know how the conversation got started. You know, back in the 90s, you constantly accuse other guys of being gay. Like, it was a weird time. You had to sit in a movie theater with a seat between you, or otherwise you had to do gay stuff with the guy sitting next to you. I don't know what the rules were. I just assumed that's why I always put a seat between me and my friends.
I mean, same goes for urinals.
We're just rude-ass teenagers. Yeah, true, urinals too. Rude-ass teenagers taking up a whole role that, like, we could have taken only half of. But anyway, I'm like, all right, well then, there's a girl slightly bent over in her own conversation. I said, all right, well grab that girl's ass then if you're not gay. He did it, and I'm like, hey, man, that was rude as hell. Hey man, I'm sorry for my friend here.
By the way, my name's Gabe.
Yeah, exactly what I did.
Sir, that was not chivalrous in any way, shape, or form.
That's why I put it in queer quotes.
Air quotes.
He put it in queer quotes.
Yeah, there's your show title.
You get me back to the elevator.
All right, so back to the elevator. I kind of started that. So, so the elevator stops, and I'm in between floors.
Yeah. And that building, it's about a 10-story building.
Yeah.
It's got some height on it, yeah.
So, I'm like, I didn't really panic so much as like, I was curious if I was able to do it. And I noticed that one of the guardrails, they had the flat handles around the elevator. What are handles around the elevator on the inside supposed to do anyway? Keep you steady? Elevators aren't like that.
I think it's just a railing if the elevator shakes, something to grab onto.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one was
a ladder for if you got to get out the fucking thing. There's at least one step to help.
So I stand up on one of these rails, put my foot on one side rail, and on the back rail I kick it until it breaks off. I use that handle because it's flat as a pry bar, and I pry the elevator doors open. The problem is, while the inside doors pry open relatively easy. I mean, I was surprised how easy it all happened. So I'm like, I got this far. Let me see how farther I can get. The outside doors, you know what I mean? The outside doors of the elevator, they're latched together until like everything lines up.
Yeah.
And so they can open so people aren't falling down an elevator shaft.
Would they have enough room to fall down the elevator shaft though?
If the door's open and there's no elevator there? Yeah, that would happen.
Oh man, there's that much gap? No.
No, what you're assuming is the elevator is there and there. No, I mean, if the door's open and there's no elevator on the other side of it, there's nothing but a shaft beneath there.
And that's what the latch is for. That's what the latch is for.
I was thinking you opened the doors like in the elevator itself.
Yeah,
I did.
He did. He opened the elevators in the box. He opened the doors of the box that is the elevator. But he still has doors on each floor to have to get open, and they don't just open without some effort.
So I'm staring at the in-between of two floors and two closed doors that I can't open because of that stupid latch. And eventually somebody gets the like a little tool or pen or something, opens up the latch, and I crawl out of the elevator. They send them she was my girlfriend at the time, wife now. They sent her a bill because it was her building. I didn't set that up properly.
I mean, you didn't need that.
It was her apartment at the time. Yeah. They sent her a bill for the elevator because I busted it all up.
Did y'all pay that bill?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I feel like that was the time that happened. Is the time she was moving out.
Yeah.
So
I told her not to. Like, they can come find us.
And if they ain't did it now, bruh.
Were you worried about getting halved? Like if you're crawling out, the elevator kicks back on?
So that was what everybody in the elevator I was in was freaking out about. Like, I've seen these movies where the elevator. You see these doors? They have no nothing. They're not come with any kind of force.
Oh, you meant if like the elevator started moving while I'm in the middle of crawling?
Yeah.
Again, like pretending to jump off a cliff when I was trying to scare my parents. I didn't think about that at the time. So there's a lot of times I could have died where I just didn't really think things through, and I just by the grace of God I'm here.
Where you didn't consider your actions or the feelings of others? Shocking.
But I got a good story out of it.
And of course I had to make sure he shared that story with you after I shared my little tidbit of a story. Oh, after it's all said and done, no worries. It ended up being that the elevator company themselves had to come.
Wow.
As opposed to just maintenance. My boss was like, had they not done something about it, I was about to call the fire department. I'm like, I'm glad you didn't, because I feel like that would have really spot blown at that point.
If they had done that, they would have evacuated all of us, which means I would have had to go outside in the cold.
Oh.
So, certainly glad that didn't have to happen.
How'd you get out? They got stairs?
Yeah, we have fire escape stairs.
Yeah. Or they get the doors open. I go to work, and the rest of the day people are like, "Oh my God, I would have been so scared." And I'm like, I'm going to explain this to you in the real simple terms. I was up one floor from the bottom. We were quite safe. Wasn't shaking or jittering or anything like that there.
It's not even really like one floor. It's like a half a floor.
True indeed. Yeah, because it's the mezzanine from one to the mezzanine.
Yeah, because like floor 2 is above mezzanine, so it's like you're halfway in between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was between 1 and 2 on the M floor.
It's literally like,
And it's actually a ramp. If you were on that floor, it's
yeah.
a ramp. So really, it is literally, if you would imagine a set of stairs, like if it was like if it took you 2 sets of stairs to get up one flight.
It's like 7 feet.
Yeah.
Because like when you're in the lobby and you hit the button for the elevator, the floor for the mezzanine is right above your head. So it's like if you're like 7-8 feet tall, your head would be hitting the mezzanine floor. So it's like you're barely up in the air at all.
And people just was not trying to hear that. And I'm like, my brother called me, my sister called me, a bunch of people were messaging me like, oh my God, I'm like, it's not even that deep. And clearly I thought I looked relatively calm in the image, but maybe I did. Maybe I looked shook or something. But it was very hilarious to me.
That old lady from the casino that just walked in was staring at me.
For a piece of you?
She did. She also looked like she was like 65.
But
She like to pull the crank on your slot machine.
that's a solid backup. Box has been sitting there holding stories for weeks now. You pick whichever one you think you want to get off, man, and go.
Well, based on the time,
He ain't gotta be nowhere, and my system died before I left, so it's only on you if you gotta go.
I don't know if I wrote down when I left. So, I guess, let's see. I guess I could start, I'll just go with Beerfest for this one.
Oh.
Because that was a couple weeks ago at this point, and if I don't tell it soon, I'll probably go forget. So, Beerfest in Ohio was in January again this year. And my buddy had talked to me about going back in like December, and I kind of didn't want to go after what happened last year. And
Do they know that?
what happened last year?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. We'll just roll with that.
You tell me off air. I don't remember.
Yeah. So, I kind of had like some like PTSD, and I wasn't sure, like I didn't really want to go, but I was like, oh yeah, you know, if you got people to go and you want to go, I'll go. But I'm hoping that like secretly that he'll forget or it just won't happen. And then like 2 weeks before it, he goes, oh, you still want to go to Beerfest? I was like, who all gonna be there? So then like he's like, oh, no, I don't know really. I was like, he's like, I'll probably know some people that'll go. So basically he's just telling me there's no real plan. We're just gonna wing it.
Always fun.
So I was like, okay. I was like, I'll go, but can we go on Saturday instead of Friday? Because the reason that I don't really want to go, I think, goes on Friday, and that way I could avoid that situation.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, that was my plan, and he agreed to it. Those were my terms. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, just come to my house, and we can go downtown, and then like you can just crash in my house, because he and I are on the same bowling team, and we had to bowl the next morning at noon because our league didn't bowl on New Year's. So we had to do a makeup day on a Sunday for it. So I went to Beerfest Saturday night and then had to get up to bowl Sunday morning. And so go to so it ended up being my buddy who wasn't going to Beerfest wanted to hang out and grab some food beforehand. So he said he would drive us downtown and then we could Uber back. That way we only had to Uber one way. So me and my buddy were going to Beerfest, went downtown with my other friend and this other guy I know, and we went to Moe's Tavern and got the best chicken wings in Cleveland. I feel they're only the best though if you get the dry rub Cajun barbecue ones, because it keeps them crispy. But when you get them sauce, it takes away from the crispiness. They're still good, but they're not as good because they're not as crispy anymore. For future reference for those who go to Moe's.
All right. Bonus review.
Yeah. So, I guess to speak in generalities and whatnot, let's just say things were consumed in this evening, and I was many sheets to the wind for various things, and so we get to the Beerfest and we check our coats and we go inside, and he tells me that like this lady he knows is coming, and So I was like, that's fine. And he goes, you need to know, though, she's a little feisty. And he tells me her name, and I go, oh, she's black, huh? Because her name was like Tawanda or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but he tells me her name, and I go, there's only a few things that could be.
You'd like to think that, but Florida has really proven the contrary in these situations.
Yeah, but we ain't in Florida.
I'm just saying they get around. So
yeah, well, we're in Ohio, not Florida, so turns out my intuition was correct.
Right.
And so when he says feisty, I learned later on, feisty means argumentative.
Oh.
So we ended up linking up with some other guy. I guess these were people that he met in like a bowling thing. It was one of those like singles bowling league things where you get on a team with a bunch of random people and try and meet people.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they do it down here at the corner alley on Sundays. Like I think his league's just starting up like next month again or something.
Oh.
He tried to get me to do it last year, and I was like, I don't want to drive downtown on a Sunday and go bowl at a place that doesn't have like easily accessible parking with a bunch of strangers. I'd rather just sleep.
Not to interrupt, but real quick, I'm having a hard time deciding if it's easier being single nowadays or harder being single nowadays.
It's harder.
It's harder if you don't want to be single.
Yeah, mathematically so. Oh, if you just want to be a single person, you good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want to be single, you're fine. But if you don't want to be single, it's hard.
Are there more ways to get laid but not to hook up long term?
I think, like, because it makes it so, and this is, I guess, like my thesis on social media in general, it kind of eliminates the gray area in a way. Where much like with politics, where people seem to lay so far left or so far right that the middle kind of vanishes. It's like that with dating now, where it's like either people just want to fuck everybody and not be in a relationship, or you get people who like want to know what you want out of life and what you're looking for within 5 minutes of talking to you. There is no more courtship in the middle. There is no more get to know anyone over time. It's like, are we doing this or not? Or are we fucking or are we not? The middle doesn't hardly exist anymore.
I kind of like that. Not enough to go back to being single.
It's hard though if you are like someone like me who lives in the middle.
Oh.
Because I'm like, yeah, like there are people who, yes, I would like to have sex with, but I'm not like the type of person who goes out and tries to have sex with everybody. But then like the people, like I've literally over the last 2.5 weeks had 4 women who would then talk to me for 20 minutes, hit me with the, so what are you looking for?
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, how the fuck I'm like, I don't even know your last name. What do you want from me?
Okay.
That is way too serious a question for 20 minutes into a
And you know how many of those women are still talking to me? 0.
Yeah, good jokes.
I told one of them that I was looking for someone to do my taxes.
I was amused by it.
I got to the point where I'm like, I'm being honest and y'all ain't liking it, so I'm just gonna just make jokes. But so that's where that's been. But anyway, so we meet up with this guy who I called. And keep in mind, one of the things in my life I'm very proud of is the fact that I've never blacked out from being intoxicated or inebriated or whatever terminology you want to use. So I remember everything that happened. So I met this guy who was my buddy. My buddy met him at that bowling league, and couldn't tell you his name. I want to say it was Mitch, but I don't remember for sure. And it's not because I was blacked out or anything. It's just like someone tells your name in a crowd for once, and it's like I had nothing to go off of. Yeah. But I remember exactly what I called this dude. Yeah. Auburn Johnny Depp. I looked at him and I was like, he's got Johnny Depp's facial structure, same haircut, except he's a little bit on the strawberry blonde side. Auburn Johnny Depp.
I could see a guy like that doing very well.
Yeah. So then after I told him this, he was laughing. He thought it was funny. And then over the next hour, as I got to know him, I went, "Oh, Auburn Johnny Depp is a bitch."
Oh wow!
And by bitch, I mean like scared nerd. Because this whole thing didn't dawn on me when my buddy told me how he met them. I looked at him. I'm like, oh, this seems like a nice guy. He's handsome, then I saw Auburn Johnny Depp run into a girl he knew, and I saw how quickly he crumbled. And I went, that's when it all clicked in me who he really was. That's the other thing about me. When I'm in the zone, we'll say, my observation skills increase, and I'm like kind of like a robot. I'm like a Terminator, and I'm just watching people, and I'm picking up on all their mannerisms and like their moods and other things they're kind of trying to hide. The body don't, like, you have a hard time. Most people have a hard time keeping those things secret if you're watching correctly. And like, my buddy ran into his friend and his friend's wife, and I was talking to the guy while the wife was getting a beer from one of the booths. My buddy who walked off to go grab somebody, and one of his friends ended up walking by, and they talked for a minute, and then the guy walked away. Then he turns around and tells me that guy was like in their group of friends for like the last 10 years, and that they all did a podcast together, and that the guy recently like quit the podcast and like refused to go to this guy's wedding, and like all this like inner friend drama bullshit, right? And it was like, I went from meeting this guy and his wife who were out having a good time, the kid was at the babysitter's, they were living it up, so all of a sudden I'm watching this grown-ass man get all up in his feels about some other guy, and like I'm just standing there, and he's like clearly upset, he's like emotional and all this, and I just looked at him, I was like, do you want me to go fuck that dude up for you? I'm like, we can go kick his ass together. I'm like, I'll help you. He goes, oh no, that's okay. You know, we don't want to hurt him that badly. And I'm just thinking, man, you ain't gonna do shit.
You ain't about that life.
I'm like, you're a little married father dude. You ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, I kick that dude's ass. Then you come in at the end and like do one kick and be like, yeah, that's right. But so like at one point though, him and his wife ended up just kind of like ditching us in the crowd. They went off and did their own thing, which is fine because I didn't care.
And with that public sex,
You weren't there. You weren't there with them. So.
Yeah, I just met them. They told me the name of their podcast, but like it was some sort of like convoluted sentence, and from the way they described it, it seems like a copycat of ours, and I feel like we were here first, so ours is better.
yes. I must.
All for it.
Without
If I ever find it, I'll listen to it and tell you, but I'm probably never gonna find it, so it is what it is. They had this game there where it was kind of like cornhole, but it was like, instead of being a cornhole board, it was like a tower. I don't know if we were playing it right, but it was like you each had 3 beanbags, and we were kind of just doing it like it was like mini basketball. And of course, you know me, even inebriated, I'm still wet from deep. So I ended up winning it for me and Auburn Johnny Depp. And it was funny because the lady, she talked all this shit before we went over there, and then she couldn't hit water if she fell out of a boat. And so I was quite amused by that.
Oh my god.
And so I guess I have to choose my words carefully for security's sake here.
Okay.
Shortly thereafter, I initiated protocol Get More Inebriated, and so that went into effect, and we got in line to go into a silent disco.
I was very excited about this very story.
So
A silent disco.
a silent disco is a dance floor, and instead of the music playing for the room, each person's wearing headphones. So you only hear the music in the headphones, but everyone has on headphones. So you're all dancing on the dance floor, and only the person who has the headphones on can hear what they're dancing to. So it's everyone else that's in the auditorium or whatever sees all these people dancing, but they can't hear music.
I did that in an episode of Daybreak.
I don't know what Daybreak is, but okay.
It's a zombie apocalypse show on Netflix
Oh, okay.
with just teenagers.
So we get in line for the silent disco, and the line's pretty long, and they have 2 lines, like one on each side, because it's not really like a timed thing. You just get the headphones and you go in for however long you want, and then when you're done, you take them off and hand them back. So people come and go as they please, really. So we're in line, and we're behind some strangers, and the guy in front of me, he was standing there, and he turns around and he sees the shirt I'm wearing. I had on a Power Rangers t-shirt. It was like one of those ones you buy off the internet. I think I got it from like Once Upon a Tea or something. Like, I got it like 5-6 years ago. So I've had this shirt for a while. Like, it's one of my bigger shirts, but one of the ones I still wear around from time to time. So, and it's basically the Green Ranger helmet and the White Ranger helmet because they were played by the same character. And they're kind of just sitting next to each other, like catty corner. It's like a cool artistic logo looking thing. So the guy in front of me sees this, and he goes, "Oh my God, that's an awesome shirt." I went, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, "I want to buy your shirt."
Shirt off your back?
And I'm like, "How much?" He goes, "I'll give you $20 and my shirt." And I went, $30 and you can keep your shirt. And he goes, "That's a terrible deal." I'm like, "How's that a terrible deal?" I'm like, "You get my shirt and you get to keep the shirt you're wearing and you just give me $30. Because he didn't understand that I was telling him that he got to keep his own shirt that he was wearing.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, what are you going to wear?" And I go, "Au contraire, mon frere. I have a shirt on underneath because I always wear a black like workout undershirt. So I had a t-shirt on underneath my t-shirt. So I was set." So he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "I really want that shirt." So like, I'm trying to like talk this guy into it because I'm like, "Fuck, I'll sell this shirt for $30. I don't fuck it." So I could sense the people behind me were like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" So like, I took my shirt off and I'm holding it like Vanna White, like modeling some shit, and I'm just like, "Look at this, man. This could be yours right now." And
For the low price of $30.
yeah. So like, I see cell phones go up in the hands behind me, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm on Instagram stories right now. So this is happening, and his friends show up, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then, like, he's like, "Man, look at this shirt. This shirt's fucking awesome." And he goes, "That is a nice shirt." He goes, "I can wear that to the gym," because he was like, he clearly lifts.
Yeah.
So he's like standing there contemplating it, and then I'm like talking to his one buddy, and he goes, "Dude, whenever he gets drunk, he always tries to buy people's clothing." So
What a foible to have as oneself.
I was thinking the word foible too. It's weird.
So I'm like standing there, and like the guy, like his attention kind of waned, and I'm like, okay. So I just put my shirt back on. But then, within like a couple minutes, the lady that was with us had like snuck around and cut them in line, and he got real mad and like, "Not on my watch" on her, and they were like bickering, and I'm just like, oh my God. So like, oh man, I am so sorry, I left out a part. So before we got in line for the silent disco, we had walked over to the corners where the bathrooms were, and that was where they had video games set up. So my buddy went to the bathroom, and Auburn Johnny Depp, I think, was playing like Smash Brothers or something.
Man, that might be your title.
And the lady grabbed me, and she drugged me over to play Mario Kart with her. So
The video game? Or like, wait, y'all playing like on video?
it was like the Wii driving steering wheel thing.
There's Mario Kart arcade games. I didn't know if they had. I was like, they had it set up like that.
No, it was just the personal units.
Ah.
So I whipped her ass in Mario Kart. Never had played that level. I don't even own a Wii U. Or what is the Wii U out now? Oh, no, it's a Switch. It was on a Switch. I never even played it on a Switch. But I even started off by accidentally hitting reverse because I didn't know what the buttons were. So everyone got a head start, and I still came in first.
Nice.
So obviously at this point, I talked a lot of shit. She got real salty, and I told her she got her ass whipped in Mario Kart. But like, it was at this point where I'm just like, this lady's grabbing me a lot and touching me a lot. I understand what's happening here.
The bell started ringing. Like, wait a minute. I know what this is.
I'm like, I am fully aware of what's happening right now. So like, right before I had to say that because I had forgotten. My order was a little out there. So after the video game thing, we went to get to the line in Silent Disco.
Very good.
And she ran into her friend who takes the pictures for the Cleveland scene,
Okay.
which is like a local publication. And so
That is your show art too. I forgot all about that. I have that picture of you.
So she was talking to her guy. She's like, "Oh, take our picture," and she grabs like my buddy Brian and Auburn Johnny Depp, and she's like gets their picture taken. But because she didn't ask me to be in the picture, when she wasn't looking, I walked around the back of the group. And I just looked over her shoulder with this like look of like just creepiness.
I just feel like I'm here too. I don't think it was creepy at all. I like that picture.
And so like that picture got taken, and then she had him take another picture, and she grabbed me and my buddy and like held us next to her.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling like she was into white dudes.
I found the picture. If you wonder what I was looking up.
Oh, you were down into your text messages?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. I saved it on my phone.
Oh yeah. I have it screenshotted and bookmarked and everything. So then that's when we got in line with the silent disco. Fast forward everything I already told you. So at one point we're like, I would say at this point 5 minutes from getting in the silent disco, and my buddy walked away to go refill our beer cups because they give you those little sampling mugs or whatever. And so I'm in line by myself because Auburn Johnny Depp at this point had kind of like disappeared. I don't know if he left or he found someone else or whatever, but he was gone. Lady was now 3 or 4 people ahead of me because she had cut the group in front of me. And I had been talking to the one guy's buddy, but like I was at this point where my level of inebriation elevated, and I felt like the baby and Look Who's Talking, where I went from like looking around and feeling normal to feeling like an energy wave just whooshed into my body. Kind of like in Marvel when the one lady takes the glove and knocks out Doctor Strange's spirit out of his body.
Yeah.
That was how I felt. So I'm standing there and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I'm like trying to like bring myself to maintain control of my situation. And it was in that moment where I'm just like, I felt like all of my body's automatic like capabilities had turned off, and I had to remind myself to breathe and blink and do all that kind of like normal shit that we don't think about until you think about it, and then you can't stop thinking about it. So like right now I'm doing it where I'm like making sure I breathe, like because I'm consciously thinking about it. So I start having like a mini panic attack because like I have anxiety when it comes to like social situations with large groups of people I don't know to begin with. So like, and I don't dance because I've always like been a bigger guy and like I've always talked myself out of it. So here I am in this line about to go into a dance floor by myself because my buddy is missing, and now I'm having like this situation where my body is like I'm having to. There's no longer like control where it's on autopilot. I'm at the wheel, so I'm like having to figure out everything on the fly. So my buddy shows back up a couple like 2 minutes before we're supposed to get in, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not alone anymore. So I'm looking. I like when I get up to the front of the line, I see how the situation goes. Where like I didn't know if it was a time thing or whatever, and I figured out that it's like the headphones, like everything I said. So I'm like in my mind, I go, fuck it, you don't know any of these people, who gives a shit, just throw the headphones on and just fucking follow the crowd and do your thing and then get the fuck out of here. So I put the headphones on, I get in there, and the way it's set up is they have like a dial on the one side so you can switch the stations so everyone isn't necessarily listening to the same shit.
Everybody's dancing to beat their own drum.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So now, I don't remember which song I listened to at first. It was definitely like an early 90s rap song. I don't remember what it was, though. And then after that, I remember I was jigging to some rock song with a bunch of older folks. It was like kind of like, it felt like a hoedown in a way. And then me and my buddy ended up making it towards the middle of the dance floor to where everyone was clearly listening to Flo Rida's Get Low. Because there was a lot of getting low.
What if they weren't, though?
Well, it was synchronized, though, because everyone was doing it at the same time, and I had that station on.
I know, but it'd be funny if they were getting low to some other...
Oh, like the Hoochie Coochie or something like that?
I don't know, just any song.
So we were in there for about 4 or 5 songs, And at that point, I was like getting dehydrated and tired, and I'd been getting low. My legs were starting to get tired and shit. So we got out of there, and I started to feel like I had cotton mouth. So I was like, oh man, I need to get some water. So we went to go where they had these giant, like almost like water tower things set up. And we walked around the whole convention center, and they were fucking gone. There's still like an hour left in the convention, and all the water was gone. Like they had wheeled out the containers. They were no longer around. So like at this point, I am fucking elevated as shit. Like if I get stationary, in my mind, I know it's a fucking wrap. There's no getting back up. There's no like going from there. It's like keep moving or you're done. So we decide to go like walk towards where the bathrooms were. So I'm following him through the crowd, and then we kind of get separated. And at this point, I made the decision to go sit down in a chair so I could collect myself. So I go sit down, and I'm sitting there, and I pull up in my phone, and I'm like, I gotta text him to let him know where I am, because like otherwise, like I'm fucked. So let me pull it up. Let's see. He texts me, I'm in front of the Sierra Nevada Brewing, or front of. And then I write back, I'm my Yingling, and then I wrote back, bye. And then I just wrote, sitting in chair. He goes, where is Yingling? Left, right, or middle? I wrote, corner, by the opening. But like, I'm writing it, and I'm just like, I hope this comes out the way I intended. So even in like that state, I've still had some like level of consciousness to where I could like express myself in text, which I was like, oh thank God, at least I know I have that in my back pocket. So he finds me sitting in the chair, and it was one of those things where like when you're so fucked up and out of it, but you're trying to pretend like you're cool and not fucked up. We all right. Yeah, like I'm sitting around, I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, just keep oscillating your head, that way no one thinks that like you're in trouble. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like looking back and forth. I'm scanning the room, just looking around like, just keep moving. Don't stop moving. Just don't stop moving. So my buddy comes and collects me, and he goes, all right, I talked to my friends, and they're going to come get us, because we'd originally talked about getting an Uber. But he has these two friends, these two women, they like met playing Pokemon or something. And I guess like they were off work and they were just driving around, so they agreed to come get us and take us back to my place. So he called her up and asked her to come get us then, because it was like at this point it was around like 10:30 and it was shutting down at 11. Yeah. So we were just gonna go get our coats and meet them outside. So we go to the coat return, and when they took our coats, they flip-flopped the tickets. So the lady gave me his coat and he got my coat, and I'm like at least 3 times bigger than my buddy. And so when she handed me his coat, I was like, fat guy in a little coat, fat guy in a little coat. So I gave him his coat back, he gave me my coat back. Now keep in mind, I am like supremely fucked up from a various amount of things. And we're leaving the convention center. I don't know whose fucking bright idea it was at the convention center to turn off all the goddamn escalators when we're like 2 floors down. I had to walk up 2 sets of stairs to get to the street level while I'm fucking like out of it.
Yeah, but it's not just you, it's a beer convention. Everybody out of it.
Yeah. But I was like way out of it.
Yeah.
Unless you were just tasting and spitting.
Ew.
Who spits, really? So yeah, we go up and we get in the car. Now I had to like Frogger myself across the street, which thankfully everyone was going slow. So we get in the car, and I just met them that night. Like I think he put me in a group chat with them once. When he was like having a wrestling pay-per-view showing his house or something, but I was already having people over. So I had chatted with them on Facebook Messenger once. I think it was the day I went to the Browns-Dolphins game. And So I'm in the back seat with him, and it was like the one lady was driving and their friend was in the passenger seat. And I was definitely like out of it, but I remember them driving around downtown for a little bit playing Pokemon. And then I remember them getting on the freeway and driving out to around where I live. Before the evening had started, though, I told my buddy, I'm like, look, I'm going to get messed up tonight. What is going to happen is when I get back towards my house, I'm going to need to consume a disgusting, greasy burger. Like I warned him this before anything had went into my body. I'm like, this is what my body is naturally going to do, is I'm going to seek these things out. He goes, okay, I got you covered. So he wanted to go to Rallies. So we ended up going to Rallies over on...
disgusting, greasy burgers.
Yeah.
Maybe Checkers in your neck of the woods, people.
Yeah. Well, we went to the Rallies on Snow Road between 130th and 150th over by the plaza there. Yeah. And so I got 2 big Buford's, a fry, and a vanilla milkshake. And I remember being in the drive-thru, and I remember I'd been talking, but I had been kind of like clearly inebriated talking. And even when I'm inebriated, my vocabulary still seems... I try to keep it high. Mm-hmm. I remember trying to say a sentence, and everything came out as... like, I mumbled the whole fucking thing to the point where the women in the front seat fucking were cracking up laughing because it was, like, so blatantly botched. There was, like... It was hilarious even to me, and I'm the one who fucked it up. The one thing about the car ride, though, that, like, I don't quite understand is... When the fuck did they make cars that have floor heaters for the passengers in the back seat? Because this lady had those fucking heaters on. My feet were cooking. It hurt. It was hot. It was like she was trying to steam me out.
Like, ma'am, could you turn these heaters on?
I was just so thankful to be in a car and have someone driving me that I didn't say anything at the time. But I talked to my buddy next day. I was like, what the fuck was that about? That shit hurt. Like, I was out of it and the pain was real.
Was it snowy out that day or wet out? They really was trying to dry
cold.
Your feet off?
It was just cold.
Maybe she just wanted to keep your tootsies toasty, bro.
But it hurt.
Yeah, I mean...
So, we get the food, and she takes us back to my place, and I thanked him for the ride, and he and him go inside. And so he had all the food, and like he's going through it, and he slides me one burger, even though I ordered 2 and fries and a milkshake, and he goes, all right, go ahead and eat that. And I'm thinking... What the fuck? So I eat the burger, and then he slides me like my fries, and I eat that, and then he gives me the last burger. I'm like,
he knew what he was doing.
I was like, why the fuck are you piecemealing me my food like I'm some sort of child? He goes, no, it's not like that. He goes, everything was wrapped up and all looked the same. So I was like, but you waited until I had eaten each item to slide it over, like you were afraid I was gonna choke on it or pass out or something. So I had found this YouTube channel recently that puts up like 45 minute specials that they record. It's some bar in Utah. The channel I think is called Dry Bar Comedy or something like that.
Yeah, you told us about that.
Yeah. So I had like that station on, and I'm like laying in the recliner in my living room with my eyes closed, but I'm listening to the TV, and I think I probably fell asleep for about 20 minutes at one point, but I woke back up, and the one of my cats was like laying on the armrest next to me. And I can tell you it was the gray one because the calico, who had just met my buddy when he came in the house with me, even though he's been over a couple times, but he's been in the basement. So he was crashing on my couch because, like I said, we had to get up for bowling in the morning. And it just made more sense for the state we were in to stay at my place for him to drive home and then come back. So he's crashing on the couch. She just met him. She laid on his chest and slept on him the whole night. I called my cat a whore.
Just giving it up to any old body.
Yeah.
How dare you?
So, yeah, I had woken up about 20 minutes after I had fallen asleep for a minute. I got up, I shut the TV off, turned the lights off, everything. I went to bed. And I woke up the next day, and I was hungover, but not, like, sickly hungover. I was hungover, like, in a way that, like, I felt like I had worked every single muscle in my body, and my entire body was tired.
He was dancing, man.
But it wasn't like
getting low.
pain. It was like the way I'm describing it, it was like every muscle in my entire body had been stretched.
Yeah.
Like eyelids, everything. Like the tips of my toes.
Oh my
just
God.
my entire body felt like someone had taken it like a Stretch Armstrong, yanked it, and then put it back. And then I went to bowling and still bowled a 633.
Nice.
Because I'm an athlete, so suck it.
See, wasn't that enjoyable? Wasn't that
lovely.
Haven't you missed that? Not really, because you never missed it. Because again, I just did the math last week. We've done this 342 weeks straight. It'll be 343 weeks straight this week. We shooting these shots, people. That's what we do out here. I mean, this. Yeah, we got to wrap it up because I'm still gainfully employed, and that's just how this works sometimes, people.
There's more stuff coming though, because T and I went on an adventure.
Oh my God, we got so much to share.
Stuff's broken at my house. And
So let's rattle you through it. RateThisPodcast.com/SkiMPod. No, it's SkiMPod. The notes, the links in your show notes. Look at whatever you listen to the show on. Click the link. Go rate my damn show.
if we get enough 5-star reviews, we'll make an OnlyFans. Which, for those of you that listen to us, knows that's SE for nudes.
Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's up and running, and things is coming. Things is coming down the pike, and I want you to be aware of it. All the shows that go up there every week, and I'm glad for those who do listen to it. I went and looked yesterday. A lot of people listen on YouTube. Strangest thing in the world to me, but whatever. What was the one episode? These White Men Are Dangerous is the most downloaded episode or most viewed episode on YouTube.
Might be some hate listening.
Because racists be thinking they be like, you talking about me? And then they listen to our show, which had very little to do about these white men are dangerous.
One antidote.
It literally, but got your view, bitch. So please go, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be real dope. I'm starting to do okay. I have an iPhone 11 Pro, which has 4 cameras on it. They developed an app that lets me shoot on 2 cameras at once. I was like, that's dope. I can do something with that. And something with that became SKiMDrive. So I'm doing this vlog on IGTV where I'm driving into the office, I talk some shit. However long that takes me to get there. Also, you can witness the drivers of Cleveland either be real good some days or real bad some days. And you'll be like, ain't as bad as California. Nowhere near as bad as Boston. But it's on there. Go follow our Instagram, and like I said, they go up when I put them up. I was for a moment considering daily, and I was like, that's a little too much. But they go up, and they go up with a bit of regularity. There's 5 episodes up there now. I'll probably record one tomorrow, so there'll be another one up there tomorrow. By the time you hear this, that was a long time ago, so worry not. It's just there. But be dope for you to go give us our IG a follow and our Twitter as well. SKiMPod on Twitter, SKiMPod. What is our Instagram? Is it just Stays Crunchy Milk? I think it stays.
I believe it just Stays Crunchy Milk.
Yeah. So Stays Crunchy Milk on Instagram. And like I said, SKiMDrive is just on the IGTV tab. You'll always see a preview of it in the main feed, but like I said, if you just click IGTV right there too, it'll take you to it. It's pretty dope. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I was shooting it landscape for a while, but I knew portrait mode was just the way it was going to have to work on Instagram. I got to quit trying to be a filmmaker and just get a content what it actually works with, and it works better in portrait mode. So there you go, people. That's what I do. And these motherfuckers can do it anytime they wanted to too, if they, wanted to just sit and chat you up as they drive.
No one wants to see me.
I mean, no one wants to see me, but they see me. So, but that is the real ODP.
I am. Even by the time you hear this, maybe I'll be on Twitter, maybe I won't.
I'm just glad to have you here. That is Lunchbox 2099.
Correct.
Our missing man is Tatum 216. Again, show my man some love. I am the Internet Table 713. You have just been podcast 2. I know you loved it. Peace.
At least the tip.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.